channel where we spread love and positive vibes. And I want to start by thanking our new subscribers, our returning subscribers. We value you, we appreciate you, and we thank you so much for commenting in our videos, liking our videos, subscribing to this channel. We don't take it for granted, and we really thank you so much. Today we are going one-on-one until we reach the land we all love, the land of wood and water. And today I want to talk about great things done by great people that have caused a lot of impact in the whole world. You should know Jamaica to be a land of fast learners, to be a land of beauty because of the Miss World, to be a land whereby there is the best food, to be a land where it is full of beauty, beautiful beaches, beautiful waterfalls, beautiful landscape. But let me tell you guys, Jamaica is not just about beauty, it's not just about food, it's not just about the fastest people in the world, it's not just about all what we know about Jamaica. It is deeper. And I want to tell you the truth. When I was going through this, I could not believe it. Some of the discoveries of things that have given the world a headache, they were actually solved, or rather they got solutions in Jamaica. And that is why I always say, Jamaica will never cease to amaze me. I got so amazed to discover this. And we are going to go through with you together. You see how great the minds, the brains, the creativity, the innovativeness of the people of Jamaica is great. And I want to start by saying Jamaica is the home of several inventors who have contributed to the advancement of medicine, finding cures, discovering life-threatening diseases and their cure. This is not a simple task. And I'm going to combine both medical inventions, and I'm also going to combine agricultural inventions, and I'm also going to bring about the day-to-day inventions. Let me tell you guys, when I was going through this, I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So, we have heard about very great innovators in the world. People who have invented great things. Like we all study in physics. Albert Einstein. We also read about Isaac Newton. Everybody who ever went to school heard about who? Albert Einstein. And we also heard about Isaac Newton. But did you know there are greater people in Jamaica who have not been mentioned, who have done great inventions? And this is what we are going to look at today. Tune in until the end of the video and see the great minds, the great brains, the great creativity, the great innovation in the minds of the Jamaican people. They are not just people. They read, others follow. So the first person I'm going to talk about is Dr. Henry Rowe. I don't know whether it is pronounced Rowe, but it is R-O-W-E. This guy, he discovered the cure for prostate cancer. We all know how prostate cancer is a headache to many men, to all the men globally. It is a serious headache. And cancer is one of the killing diseases in the whole world. So you can imagine a guy coming out with a cure. That is not a small discovery. So Dr. Henry Rowe, according to the Ministry of Health in Jamaica, it was discovered that most men suffer from prostate cancer and actually succumb to death. That happens worldwide, like I started by saying. And therefore, this guy wanted to know, how can we eradicate such a life-threatening disease? And therefore, in 2020, it was taken statistics and it was discovered that more than 1,500 Jamaicans were reported to have prostate cancer. That is a large number, by the way. And therefore, this guy was concerned. And seriously, we are all concerned about these diseases that are so stubborn that to get their cure, it takes God and the minds of men that God has created. So this guy discovered that the people that were suffering from prostate cancer, he discovered a cure in 2010. And you may ask, why is that cure not? But I'm going to tell you everything about it. So, this guy, Henry Wu, discovered the cure in 2010. The product, which was actually the cure, was being called Eden Gardens. Eden Gardens, and it was made from a chemical that was taken from the ball moss plant. The ball moss plant. It is said to have completely cured or rather eradicated cancer and was approved by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. It was actually approved for circulation in 2012. So it was allowed to circulate because it was approved as a disease, a drug that could actually eradicate prostate cancer. So you can imagine the joy of the people in the whole world, because so many people suffer from this disease, and if for sure a cure has been discovered, it is great news to everyone. So Henry Law was actually working on the cure for this disease, and he came up with this drug we are calling Eden Gardens, which was prepared from a chemical from the ball moss plant, and it was said to have completely eradicated the cancer. Then we come to another great woman called Cicely Williams. Cicely Williams discovered kwashiorkor. We know that kwashiorkor is a very, very stubborn disease that is caused by a great deficiency of protein. And therefore, this woman was born in Manchester Parish in Jamaica in 1883 and became one of the first women to study medicine at the University of Oxford. So she went to school in Oxford University and later worked in Africa, and while she was working in Western African coast, she observed that there was a lot of hypopigmented children, and she discovered that they had sore tummies and reds. In those days, it was not yet discovered that it was kwashiorkor, and therefore she observed that many children were having sore tummies and reds, and found that most toddlers succumbed to this disease. And therefore she was worried and started to do research. And she did a lot of research, and this research led to her discovery of the disease kwashiorkor. And she came to realize that this disease was caused by malnutrition, caused by lack of proteins. And therefore she started advising the parents and the mothers of the children to feed the children with high protein diet so that this disease could be eradicated. She did great work in the eradication of kwashiorkor. Do you know, some of these things are amazing, because you can imagine how many children in Africa suffer from kwashiorkor. And therefore this woman came to discover that this disease was literally kwashiorkor, and it was being caused by malnutrition and lack of protein. And therefore she was able to advise the parents what to do so that this disease can be eradicated. The third person is Dr. Louis Grant. Dr. Louis Grant discovered Aedes aegypti mosquito as dengue carrier. I think it's called dengue, which is a disease, dengue carrier. And it is said that during summer, which the Jamaicans in the house can confirm, during summer time and the rainy season, Jamaica is often plagued with pesky mosquitoes that swarm houses and schools and the workplaces. And this insect was considered just a nuisance insect, but people didn't know that it can cause disease. So they were actually considering it as a nuisance and could just take it. So it was seen as a nuisance. People didn't take it seriously until 1960, when Jamaicans started experiencing weird fever. They could experience weird fever and they don't know what is the cause of the fever. After research, it was discovered that the fever was actually being spread through the Aedes aegypti mosquito. This led to a widespread campaign to stop the spread of the disease. So this person contributed a lot to the discovery that the fever was actually being caused by Aedes aegypti mosquito, which made a round to be made so that there can be a widespread campaign to stop the spread of the disease, and therefore the Jamaicans stopped suffering from this fever that was actually very, very weird. Then we have the other person is Dr. Albert Lockhart. Albert Lockhart. Wonders will never cease, guys, because, sorry for that. As I was going through this, I was seeing the way Jamaicans have made a lot of impact in the whole world. It's not easy to actually discover something like we have just talked about, the Aedes aegypti mosquito, that it is actually the one that is causing weird fever in people. And therefore it needed a brain, it needed determination, it needed hard work for these people to discover all this we are talking about. And therefore that is why we say we cannot stop talking about Jamaicans, because they have made a lot of impact globally and even touched the hearts of people, and the lives of people have changed. So number 4, we have Dr. Albert Lockhart, who discovered cure for glaucoma. Glaucoma is a condition that affects the eyes because of, I'm going to talk about it later, because of the damaging of the optic nerve. So when the optic nerve gets destroyed, people get the disease we call glaucoma. And therefore Albert was very curious about a plant that he saw. And that plant is none other than marijuana. I know when you hear me, especially here in Africa, when we talk about marijuana, people shake and they don't want to hear about it. Because marijuana is termed as a drug that actually ruins most of the youngsters here in Africa. But marijuana in Jamaica is considered that it is a drug that relaxes, and it is also taken as a religious practice. And it is also associated with the Rastafarian community. But this guy discovered that marijuana is not just a drug, but it can be so important as a healing, or rather it had some healing powers or some healing properties. And therefore Albert was curious about marijuana, and he decided to do some investigation about it. And he came to realize that this marijuana had some healing properties. And from that, him together with a team at the University of West Indies, and they came to discover that the plant had healing properties that could cure glaucoma, which is an eye condition caused by the damaging of the optic nerve. So it is Albert, together with a team of people, when they went to the West Indies University, and they came to discover that marijuana can actually be used as a cure for glaucoma. This led to the manufacturing of conazole. Canasol, I think that is the right pronunciation. Canasol, a medical eye drop made from marijuana that is used as a cure for glaucoma. Oh my God. Something that was considered not acceptable by the society. And actually there is a lot of discussion about marijuana in Jamaica, in all over the world. But this guy, Albert, he came to convert something that looks like it is so bad to something that can actually help people in the curing of glaucoma. So you can see how brain can turn situations to be good. The other one is a guy called Lecky. Lecky was born in Portland in Jamaica. He was born in the parish of Portland in 1904 in Jamaica. And he's known to creating new cattle breeds that are more sustainable in Jamaican climate. So this guy was actually an agriculture specialist, let me call him like that. And therefore, when he was doing his work of agriculture, he discovered that he can come up with a cow that can be sustained in the Jamaican climate. He discovered 3 new cattle breeds. So he came up with 3 new cattle breeds. I know you don't know that. One of the breed was called the Jamaican Red. Jamaican Red. The other one was called Jamaican Hope. The other one was being called Jamaican Black. So the 3 breeds were Jamaican Hope, Jamaican Red, Jamaican Black. So he came up with these 3 breeds. Jamaican Hope was a dairy breed composed of a British Jersey, a small right feeding cow. So here, the amount of food taken by the cow that was being produced was considered. So he mixed the British Jersey that was eating rightly, and then the Holstein, a heavy milk producer cow. So he mixed a breed of Jersey, Holstein, which was a heavy milk producer cow, and the Indian Shahiwal. That was a disease resistance and suited to the warm climate. So you can see these characteristics. So one breed was actually right feeding, so it could not feed a lot, so it catered for the feeding. Then the other breed was milk producer, heavy milk producer, so it could produce a lot of milk and not eat much. And then the last one was disease resistance and acclimatized to the warm climate of Jamaica. So all these combined together produced a cow that could cater for all those things that we have talked about. So the Jamaican Red and the Jamaican Black, so this Jamaican Hope was used as a dairy cow that produced a lot of milk, ate little, and was acclimatized to the climate of Jamaica. Then we have the Jamaican Red and the Jamaican Black were both used for beef production, but the Jamaican Red became the chief cattle reared for beef. So initially, the Jamaican Red and the Jamaican Black were used for beef, but later it was found that the Jamaican Red was better for beef production, and therefore it was used or reared for beef production. So this guy really helped in terms of production of a quality cow, and I'm sure this knowledge is being used all over the world. So these discoveries or inventions are actually inventions that are touching all of us. We come to another one, Robert Rush. Robert Rush, he developed tools for space exploration missions. Oh my God, I hear people go to the space, but I have never known that they need some tools to travel to the space. So this guy, Robert Rush, actually developed tools for space exploration missions. So Robert Rush, together with Puerto Rican and Charles Rivera invented the world's first portable 3D non-destructive evaluation NDE system. The NDE system detects flaws in materials used to construct aircraft, spacecraft, and industrial pipelines without taking them apart. So this guy saved a lot of accidents which could happen in the airspace and in the airplanes. So he discovered the NDE together with the team, the NDE system, which can detect flaws or other mistakes or other problems in materials used to construct aircrafts, spacecrafts, and industrial pipelines without taking them apart. This was a great discovery. It was actually a discovery that impacted a lot in the world, because without this discovery, maybe we wouldn't have aircrafts, maybe we wouldn't have spacecrafts, maybe we wouldn't have industrial pipelines. So he discovered these things that were very, very important globally. The other person is Dr. Lawrence Williams. Oh my God, I tell you today, I cannot even cover all of them. There are so many people who discovered so many things and are from Jamaica. So we have Dr. Lawrence Williams, who discovered, or rather, he contributed a lot to the search for the cure of cancer. Cancer has disturbed a lot of people, including us, and today we were talking about a lady here who has succumbed to cancer. It is a killer, and therefore if a cure is discovered, it shall be a great breakthrough in the whole world. So this guy, together with his team, they are doing research. They have done a lot of research so that they can get the cure of cancer. They discovered that guinea hen wind would have the potential to fight cancer, and went on to further investigations of the plant with his team. They investigated, yielded the compound dibenzyl trisulfide. So after they investigated the plant, they came up with the compound dibenzyl trisulfide, which has been shown to cure cancer cells. It has been shown also to cure cells that affect the brain, the breast, the skin, and the lungs. So soon maybe we'll have the cure for cancer. Then let me go to Austin James Thomas. If you enjoy a fish every day, a fish meal from fresh water, then you should then actually thank Austin James Thomas. Thomas led to the development of the rod-based fishing in Jamaica. Before then, Jamaicans used to import freshwater fish for local consumption. So when this guy discovered this, Jamaica no longer imported the freshwater fish for local consumption. He was instrumental to the creation of mono-X cultivation of the African or Nile perch, commonly known as the tilapia, and I love tilapia, by the way. So this guy is actually the one who cultivated the Nile perch, or commonly known as the tilapia. He came up with the tilapia. He was very, very instrumental in coming up with the tilapia, and we all enjoy tilapia. And therefore, this guy contributed to what we eat today. He discovered the male was doing well when it was alone in a pod. And this discovery has been used globally. So when we enjoy a fish meal, we should all remember Austin James Thomas. Guys, I cannot come to an end on this invention. So we cannot come to an end with this invention because there are too many, and therefore I'm going to shoot another video on computer discoveries in Jamaica and other innovations that have turned around the world. So this will be the end of this video. See you during the next video. Bye bye and bye bye.